Hi, Joe Cerrone.
And Neil Rosen.
Welcome to CAD 117 Intermediate AutoCAD, and this will be our 10-minute weekly Zoom meeting. We'll run the meeting longer, but we'll give a 10-minute initial meeting to show everybody what we're supposed to do for this week's class. All right, so Alan has gone through and set up the main splash page. And so getting started here, we have our syllabus. If we click on this link, course will be taught by myself and Ellen Rosen. It's Intermediate AutoCAD. It's the second course, and so we kind of go into the nuts and bolts of AutoCAD. Attributes, external references. We don't do a lot with the grouping and filtering. We'll touch on it. We'll do quite a bit with the three-dimensional work. Some of these viewing and coordinates, definitely extrusion frame modeling. It's a very curriculum-based course. Learning objectives, we'll just go through and learn how to analyze and solve problems using CAD. Academic integrity, it's best to do your own work. We have an outline of topics that we'll go through. We'll have a web-based class, meaning we will do this class completely online, and we'll post videos and put things into modules. Course practices, there will be labs, which will be drawing. There will be quizzes, and there will be a midterm and a final exam. We use two textbooks. We use this technical drawing, and it's got some good projects. You'll see there's a house on the left and a mechanical part on the right, and that's kind of what we liked about it, because it splits the work into two different types of CAD drawings. So you'll have these architectural assignments and then these mechanical assignments. And then for the comprehensive AutoCAD, we've put a PDF with that into the D2L, and it covers 3D, and 3D is really great. Here's how you will be assessed: 50% for drawings, 10% for tests and quizzes, and 40% for the final exam. If you have a documented learning or physical disability or just our special needs, contact our resource center. We basically want people to feel comfortable at the college, and sometimes people need somebody to talk to about things. And so college is that type of environment. We want people to be able to access help if they need it. All right, back to the main splash page. Topics. So Al has done an awesome job on this as well. We're going to go through, and we'll go through introduction to our fundamentals within the technical drawing book. And it's basically just the field of architecture, mechanical drawing, versus some of these other fields. And so it's theoretical for the first chapter in the technical drawing book, but it gives you an idea of what kind of a degree you would need and what you can do with that, whether you're going to be a drafter or an engineer or something like a manufacturing person that just uses CAD. And then the 3D modeling is kind of the advanced. We want to take it up a notch from 2D drawing. Traditional drafting tools, and these are the chapter names. And so as we go through it, we'll cover a chapter a week, creating primitives and composites, dimensioning mechanical drawings. Then we show how to dimension architectural drawings. And we'll set those up per architectural and mechanical standards, like ASME Y14.2 for making sure that the text heights are right, that we use the right font, that we understand the terminology that's involved in drafting so that we can talk the vocabulary. We'll go through model space, isometric and 3D drawings. We'll have a midterm in the middle of November, at the beginning of November. And then here are mechanical working drawings. We'll go into some assemblies. We'll have a 3D printing project, and we'll work on that as our final project. And then the class will wrap up on the 16th of December. All righty, so the course will be taught. This will be your go-to page. And so if you're like, hey, what am I supposed to do next week? Oh, there it is, chapter 2, technical drawing 101. So I'll go to that textbook and pull up that chapter, or chapter 2 from the AutoCAD Comprehensive. Then you go, well, I don't have the books yet. Well, don't worry. We have thought of that already. Let's do this view this as a student so that it's cleaner, has less congestion. And so if we go here to, here's our Technical Drawing 101 book, and here's the first chapter. And you'll go through and hit the learning objectives, where technical drawings, explain the terminology. And so as you go through, it goes through and talks about these things. We'll cover this after we do our 10-minute Zoom meeting. We don't want to go into every detail of it, but the chapters are good to read. You don't have to study them to be like memorizing them, because we want this to be lab-based, but there's some good knowledge in there. And then the other textbook that we have is the AutoCAD Comprehensive 3D Modeling. And so chapter 1 here, and I think I have it open on a different one, maybe a different browser. I'll just run it from here. And we really like working with these modeling, because, after 2 courses, you should be able to model quite well. And then if you go into the 3rd course, you'll be really good if you take it with Sebastian. And it's great. The guy knows his things. He knows how to set things up. So, Workspaces, when we go through and we start to model, we're working the X, Y, and Z axis. And so these are the 2 chapters to read for the first week of class, going through display commands, being able to look at different points of view. And so we like to make videos and have these during the class where we'll draw this part, and then we'll be able to rotate and manipulate that. So as we start to work through the class, when we look at our content here, we have our table of contents, we have our syllabus, and here's our sequence of topics. VPNing into the Oakton computer. If you are working from home and you want to work remotely, you can VPN in and use one of the computers at the college. That does work. It's not too bad if you have a good internet connection. You can also download the software. And so here's the software and how to download it. I think Al has a better link in the main splash page, so I'm going to go up and grab it there. So to get the software, what you're going to do is you're going to click right here, how to get and install.
Right next to free, yeah, that's one.
Thanks. You're going to click on free AutoCAD.
Then you click on open new window,
Yes.
and there you are.
And I go get products.
You do have to.
I have a sign in, so let me see if I can remember me.
And if you don't, please make your own login so you can download any kind of software that currently is there.
And they're checking on all these software now. It seems like everybody's working virtually, and the companies are starting to figure out they can make more. So they confirm that you're students now. And so I've had a couple of guys that said, how do I get a transcript? How do I prove that I'm a student? And if you have any difficulty or need any help, just email us or instant message us. But the software we're going to use here is going to be just straight AutoCAD. And then you can go to the get product, and then you go to the download. And whoops, I hit 2022. Windows. Go ahead.
You can use all from 2018 all the way up to 2022. But if you do select 2022, we will show you how to change this format so we can grade it as a 2020.
Yeah, let's just tell them to go with 2020. 2022 is going to be so new. I mean, you can, if you have it installed, go ahead with it. It's fine. But I think it's called as 2020 in the syllabus. So if we do get called into the boss's office and we look at the syllabus, and We might even have to update this if I'm in trouble. I'm used to it. So if we come down here, yeah, we're gonna have to, so it is 2020, okay. But you said 2022, 2022. So Al, you
Right.
can just make the call on that.
Right. If for some reason you do, the books are just fine, from 2018 all the way to 2022. That's great. You can get either one or one of those in between there. The only difference is if you have the 2022, when you buy it, just has the more bells and whistles that you use in your house or work. That's all.
And that's kind of tentative. I mean, it's like a car. You know, how many different sensors are they going to put on it? I can't always tell a 2020 from a 2021 car. I mean, you know, unless there's a big model change. But either way, that's how we're going to go and do the software, right, Al?
Right. And also, it's nice when you get the book of 2022, you can take the next step, the 118 course, and you don't have to buy it again. It's right there. So if there's any changes, modifications, you're up to date.
But I'm going to recommend the 2020 if you haven't installed it yet, because that's what I have on my computer. And so I'd prefer not to go into every version of it. So I typically stay a year behind because they're kind of buggy a little bit, and you still get it for, you know, the same duration. So that's the software. You can also get some other really good ones. Inventor is like Pro E. 3D Max is good for gaming and animation, as well as Maya. And they have just tons of stuff. It just depends on whether you're going to sit at the computer and learn them all, because some of them, if you have some graphic abilities, can do some really great stuff. But there's a learning curve on everything. Alrighty, back to the main splash page, and then we're at 12 minutes into our meeting. So let's talk about the assignment. The first assignment is going to be this module 1. And if I work this from the top to bottom, let's just make sure that's the free software. Here's our lecture, and we'll make a separate, we'll do the lecture after we do this short Zoom meeting. And so we'll come back to that. It's glitching anyway. And then we'll use these different title blocks for the different drawings. And then here's our drawings. And most of you guys have had the first AutoCAD class, so you're familiar with us. These two are required, and this one is bonus. And so as you look at these drawings, you'll use these different, here's the PDFs showing how to make the drawings. Here's our first one. And then if I come back, here's the door. This is the bonus one. Etc. And then as we go down here, it's a little redundant. They're both the same. I'm going to take this last one out. You can always put it back in. And then class procedures. You know, if you need any help, just contact us by instant message in D2L. And then as we look at the first drawing assignment under content, and then we go to module 1. Here's the drawings right here. So here's the same drawing, and you can use this B-size mechanical title block. You can just download it and open it. And then here's a video on how to do the drawing. And so in the videos,
It's step by step.
correct. And like we said, we like to run like a short orientation type, what we're doing this week. And then after that, we can go through and do some drawing hands-on and work with everybody. So we have the videos for these as well, and then the drawings. We have the lecture, and here's our PowerPoints for that. All right, so that's the syllabus. That's the main splash page. What else do we got to cover here, Mr. Rosen?
Color coding.
Ah, it works for me.
Okay, color code blue one is reading of materials or reading of lecture or whatever the case be. Red is test quizzes, etc. You see anything in green, that is going to be downloadable for your drawings or drawing PDF units.
That's
And
right.
I think that's it, isn't it?
Well, we probably want to, do we have quizzes and exams set up for this?
We have a couple and they will be turned on when we get to that point, not at this time.
You guys know how to turn in the assignments as we look into the calendar. Now, if you don't, let us know, but I'll just make sure I cover it just for covering sake. You just go through and you take it right here with or you submit your drawing to the module. And like before, or in the 116, we use this rubric. Is the drawing complete? Is it graphically accurate? You use the proper design rules and dimensioning, etc. And so once you submit that, you can also ask for assistance with that.
So
And then take a look at the calendar. As you look at what's due and when it's going to be due, we'll have module 1 due in 2 weeks, and then module 2, they're both active. And here's the drawings from that. And so if I go into the module 1, let's see, and then I bring my AutoCAD onto the screen, it's to draw this B block. And as we draw this, we want you to use the title blocks for B size, and we want you to model it in model space. And so we can go and set this to a top view, draw the part. And then once we have that part drawn, if I want to turn off my dimension layers, I can copy that. Move it over. And then I can grab a isometric view. And then there's different ways that we can work with this. We want to use layer management. And so I'm just going to put this on, I'm just going to put it on an object layer. Typically, I like to make a layer called 3D and change the color of it a little bit. And then we can use these 3D workspaces. And so we can go into 3D modeling. And then we can use like a press pull command. And we can hover inside the geometry here. Somehow this press pull has been glitching in this version of the software, Al. I'm not sure why. We can extrude it. If we're going to extrude it, I'm going to need to make it into a region first. And then extrude it. And it got them both. So we can go down with it. You can press pull it into the other one, subtract it. And it did, it's just a redundance. So as you go through and work on these projects, what we want this to be like then is if I come back and turn my workspace back to 2D, drafting and annotation. So we'll make the drawing in model space, and then we'll display the drawing characteristics here in paper space. Remember, I turned off the dimension layer, so I'll turn that back on. And this is just a basic model of it. And then the other 2 assignments, here's lab 2. Whoops, that's module 2. That's our bonus. Here's 1B. And again, I have to turn on my dimension layer. So those are the 2 drawings that you need to do. You need to do this drawing, and you need to do this drawing. Put those in the Dropbox, and then the door is bonus. And then next week we'll go into 3D, and we'll start creating these primitive models. Videos and everything's all set. So that's kind of our quick demo on the assignments and what to work on. As we start to make the end of our recording here, make sure you go through under the content area and take a look at the syllabus, outline of topics, and then as we work through these programs, turn things into the assignments folder. If you have any questions, you can always email us or instant message us. Al, let me know if there's anything we left out, and I will end this initial Zoom recording, and then we can open things up for questions.
Everything was fantastic.
All right, so let's see if I can find my navigational controls for Zoom to, there we go. And I'm going to stop this recording, and then we're going to open things up for questions. Thanks for